The practice that you talked about where you're with the painting company that you're working with, you're not your customer. We've heard Gary Vee talk about all the time that the idea of reverse engineering who your ideal customer is. Would you click on this? Would you do this? Would you buy this way? But the practice of actually removing yourself, I think, is far more difficult. We all have this need to be right. People would rather be right to their own demise than wrong to their own prosperity.
Oh, so true.
So taking yourself out of the equation when you're trying to evaluate a brand design, a web design, an ad, an email, and whether or not someone's actually going to use email, how did you coach your client to say you're not your ideal customer? Let's try this and see if it works. Versus the person who's being stubborn. How did you coach your client out of that?
It's a good question. And my approach is not particularly scientific. I basically say, just trust me. I mean, the great thing about email, right, is that you can do it as many times as you want, and it doesn't cost more. Right. It costs more to run another ad. It costs more to do these other things. With email, it doesn't cost you any more to publish 30 emails in a month versus one. Right. Your email service provider bill is exactly the same. So I tell them,
to get it right the first time is not necessarily there.
Yeah, you do not have to get it right the first time. Like, you don't even have to get it right the first 5 times. You can just keep showing up and saying, interesting. We had an email this week, 71% open rate. Subject line was the color that makes you hungry. Yeah, for this painting company. And I get, like, most companies are out there going 50% off special. Call now, limited time offer. And there's like a time and a place for those things, but that should not be your default approach to sending a marketing email. If you get a service that people buy like once a year or twice a year, like HVAC service, I just don't think you should email every day. You should spread it out a couple times a month, 2 to 3. Other different types of companies, coaching, e-commerce is much more aggressive, like much higher frequency of emails. So yeah, it really depends on the type of business, what they're selling. And I mean, next week with Black Friday, it's going to be an absolute crap show out there in inboxes everywhere.
That was where I wanted to go as well with the conversation. So I'm glad you brought us here anyways, was how do we stand out? How do we cut through the bullshit? Because there's so many emails. Like, I've got my personal inbox, I think has 50,000 unread emails. And that's not unheard of for a lot of people. And so, 1, how do we cut through the clutter of the inbox itself? And then 2, kind of a secondary question to that I want you to hit on at some point in your rant, will be, how do we get it from going to the promotions inbox on Gmail and instead land on the main inbox that people are actually checking more frequently?
First of all, I go back to the from line is more important than the subject line. When it comes to cutting through the noise, is be a name they know, like, and trust.
Right.
Be somebody that they look forward to hearing from. That's the best thing you can do. And that's a long-term play, right? There's not like any shortcut or hack to that. It's just showing up regularly over time, building trust, setting quality content and quality offers to a quality list.
Right. Add value. Don't just try and sell shit all the time.
Yeah. That's the unsexy, boring, but best answer. Right. And then tactically, for actually standing out, I mean, there's so many different things you can try. Like, very few people try switching up the from name in the email. They'll just say like Zach Arside every single time, which, again, the from line is more important than the subject line, but you can switch up your from line a little bit, like ZG. Or I did an email for a garage door company once, and the from line was your garage door, like an email from your garage door. And the subject line was, help me, please. So that was a good one. Nice. I should bring that one back out. That's a good one.
I think so.
It's been a hot minute since I've used that one. So, like, that stands out, right? Like, your garage door, help me, please. Or if it's a business that I'm trying to sell to, it'll be the from line will be your sales team, and the subject line is, we need more calls, please. Just that sort of, like, the from line is the thing and the subject line is the problem.